Welcome back to Building Burbs. My name is Howard. I don't have a co-host today, but I do have an amazing guest. Abi King with Abi Ink. Thank you so much for
Hello.
coming on. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about Abi Ink. What it's about, and we can get into it.
Okay. Abi Ink is a art licensing business basically. So I create patterns and illustrations and things like that then I pitch to companies and they then license to put on their products. So it can be paper goods companies, home decor, really like anything that you see out in the world with a pattern or art of any kind on it.
Okay.
Half the time it's by an art licensor or like an artist who licenses, or they have like an in-house artist.
Cool. I never
Yeah.
never realized that.
I didn't either. I even went to school for fashion design and I found out after the fact that that
Uh,
was a whole thing.
yeah,
So,
yeah, makes sense. So what kind of sparked the passion? Like, have you always had a passion for illustration?
no, I actually didn't even know I was very creative, like
Okay.
artistic wise until about junior year through high school.
Mm.
I was very bored of my classes, so I drew a lot, like literally
Yeah.
in the margins.
Yeah.
And by the end of my junior, partway through senior year, I like had a whole portfolio kind of.
Mhm.
So from there, I started looking at like some sort of artistic type of degree,
Mhm.
and I studied fashion design. And then it wasn't until after the fact that I discovered what like illustration and surface design even was.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess prior to um kind of coming across that, like, what were your thoughts as far as like, okay, this is what I can kind of see myself doing when I get older?
Yeah. So I think I kind of went into the fashion design route because I thought it was applicable. Like I was like, oh, like clothing, people
Mhm.
wear that. They have to
Yeah.
have that. That's like a degree that I could actually like apply after school. But I was creating kind of repeating patterns and things like that in school with that already in mind. But I didn't know the industry existed. Like I thought it was just part of fashion design. I didn't know
Yeah.
it was for like all the products that we have,
Yeah.
like water bottles, phone cases, literally anything.
Anything. Yeah, that's crazy.
So I forgot what the question was.
I forgot my question was. Essentially, like, prior to getting into like the whole design, did you have anything that were like, okay, this is what I think I want to do?
Yeah, I think I kind of knew it was what I wanted to do before I even knew it was a thing. Like I
Okay.
was like repeating patterns is just like what comes naturally to my brain. So
Mhm.
I was kind of on that track. And then once I discovered what surface design or surface pattern design was, then I was like, oh, I was like, this
Yeah.
is okay, this is what I'm gonna do.
Now, because it sounds like you kind of just always had the like creative kind of mind, artsy kind of mind. And you're from Atlanta, right?
Yeah, I grew
Okay.
up here.
Okay. So yeah, like Atlanta, you can see a whole bunch of murals and things like that. Do you think kind of being from Atlanta had any kind of impact on you as far as that is concerned?
Absolutely. I love Atlanta, everything about it. I grew up going to the high. I grew up like around just art
Yeah,
constantly.
for
My
sure.
grandpa's super into art, so like
Okay.
I think even at a young age, even though I didn't know much like about it, I was
Yeah.
just always surrounded by it. And then I didn't even know I was very artistic until like almost the end of high school,
Yeah,
but
yeah. Just thought it was normal, I guess.
yeah,
Yeah.
and Atlanta, I mean, I started doing murals for a little bit when I was
Okay.
trying to figure out like the route I was gonna go, so it's
Hmm.
definitely had an impact on me.
And I think I saw that your mentor told you that your design could be like on a scarf. Is that kind of where it was like?
So that's actually a funny story. That was before, so I went to Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
Before I'd gone to Auburn, I was like, I had this portfolio kind of like doodles, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what to do with them. And I got together with my mom and her best friend, who's an interior designer here in Atlanta, and she was like, "Oh, Abby, like I could see this on a scarf." And I was like, "What?" And she was like, "Yeah, like this could." She was basically telling me what surface pattern design
Yeah, yeah.
was before I knew what it was. And then she had gone to Auburn and was like, have you heard of their apparel design program? So that's
Mm.
what had kind of got me on that track.
Okay. Okay. And so after college, you did internships and things like that, right?
Yeah, okay. So I graduated. I did 3 internships,
Okay.
all in the apparel design field. One with a basketball clothing company, one with a men's like haute couture line, and then one with a bridal
Okay.
company. I realized that I did not want to do apparel design. I didn't love sitting behind a desk all day. I
Yeah.
didn't love not getting to talk to people that much. So I had a short-lived job that I thought would be good,
Mm.
in the textile industry, but I was basically doing Excel sheets. So after a few months of that, I shifted and I became a camp counselor on the Chattahoochee River for
Okay,
a summer.
cool, yeah.
And then I was managing the pool I grew up at. I just wanted to be outdoors because I love that. And then I started working multiple part-time jobs so that I could have the flexibility to be building my
For
business.
sure.
So I was working at a restaurant and then I was nannying. And then actually during that time at the restaurant, I was always talking to the owner and he was the one who kind of gave me the idea for the name of Abi Ink because I kept
Mm.
talking about like my dreams and aspirations. And
Yeah.
one day he said Abi Ink and I was like, okay,
Wow.
shoot, I'm going to do
Yeah, yeah.
it.
So I guess like, okay, Abby Ink started, right? Um, what was kind of like that first initial like getting my art out and getting those first customers?
Okay. So really for me, like I had to build my portfolio.
Okay.
So the first year I was putting together a portfolio, which probably wasn't quite ready enough to be pitching, but I started pitching anyways because I was
Yeah.
like, I just gotta
Yeah.
get out there
Yeah.
and start doing it.
For sure.
So I focused on like some foundational things that I needed to do. I built a website, I built an Instagram, and I started compiling my portfolio like at the beginning.
Mm. Okay. And so I guess like what was the process from that kind of starting point to like the first like landing your first clients?
Yeah, okay. So I'm still on a mission to land a licensing client.
Okay. Okay.
I'm still like at the beginning of my journey,
For
even though
sure.
it's about 2 years in. I've gotten a little bit of like freelance work doing things for like a musician, like an album cover type of thing,
Okay.
but that's not exactly my goal. My goal is to license my own art. And the cool thing about licensing my own art is that I get to create what comes to me naturally and like what I love. And then they basically licensing is like running it. So they could say, okay, we'll pay you $1,000 for this design and we have the rights to it for a year. Or
Okay.
instead of a flat fee, they can give you a royalty. So it's like you can get 5%
Mm.
on every sale.
Yeah.
So, and if it's for a year or 2 years, it has the possibility to like bring in a lot of money
For
eventually,
sure.
depending
Yeah.
on like if you license with Target,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
have stores everywhere.
Yeah.
So you could make a lot of money
100%.
off that deal. So I'm currently in my pitching stage, pitching to
Okay.
companies and trying to land my first deal.
Yeah. I guess like what would be your kind of like your dream licensing company?
That is a great question. I'm not 100% sure. So what I'm focused on right now is the paper goods industry
Okay.
because they have a lot of like colorful, fun art, and
Mhm.
my art is very colorful and like playful.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like the best paper goods company is drawing a blank. It will come to me.
Okay. For sure.
But there's one brand that I love. There's Archer Paper
Mhm.
Goods in Athens, Georgia, I think. That's smaller, but there's one big one that I love, and I just can't even
Okay.
pull it out of my brain right now.
So and I heard you mention that your art is very like playful.
Hmm.
Is there kind of a reason behind that, or is it just kind of like I guess you as a person?
Yeah, I think it's just like my art and soul on paper.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. For
Like
sure.
I play soccer, I swim, I hula hoop, I roller skate.
Okay.
I love life
Yeah.
and the color in it, and I think that's just like what comes out on page.
Yeah. That's awesome.
This phone case, that's a piece of my art. Like that's one of my designs.
Really?
My bag.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah.
Thanks.
All right, guys, we're gonna take a quick break. Then we'll be right back.
This podcast is brought to you by Hatchbridge Incubator. Hatchbridge Incubator is a partnership between Kennesaw State University and the Cobb Chamber of Commerce. We offer entrepreneurs the programs, the support, and the accountability that they need to build their businesses. We have programs and we have facilities for them to use. So our new facility will launch off of Chastain Road in the summer of 2025. We'll have 9 private offices for companies. We'll also have dedicated hot desk space for them to work at, and we'll have an event facility there as well. Learn more at hatchbridge.com.
We are back with Abby. So when first starting a business, right, a lot of times people get a little fearful or sometimes get scared with a bunch of different aspects of starting a business. Did you have any fears when coming into Abi Ink? And if so, like, how did you overcome those fears?
Absolutely. I mean, I still have fears. They started like when I started off, I think they were a bit more like they were louder, and now they're a lot more quiet.
Okay.
So when I first started, I was actually terrified. Like the first day, I was like like I was just so excited, like woohoo! I felt like on top of the
Yeah,
world. And
absolutely.
then probably the next day when I started actually working on it, I was like, crap, like this is big, this is intense. Like, how do I even get from this step to where I want to be?
Yeah, yeah,
So honestly, like just and I hear people say this all the time. I'm like, that's not even helpful. But it's true. If you like just show up the next day and just do a little, like don't focus on like that giant big dream you have one day, because it's going to be a ton of
yeah,
tiny little steps that get you there. So
absolutely.
like I'm almost 2 years into my business, and like comparing where I'm at now to where I started is insane.
Yeah,
Like my art is better, my pitching is better, like every aspect of my business. My website now is super professional. When I first started, my website didn't look amazing, like
yeah,
if you look at it now. But
yeah,
I had to have that website to get to the one I have now, and something I've learned here at Hatchbridge is that like you don't need to be perfect. And that's something I've struggled with, like being a perfectionist.
yeah,
So having the mentors here like push me to be like, Abby, just get out there, give them something, and then you'll continue to get better as long as you're putting yourself out there.
absolutely. Chop
Yeah.
wood every day. And I guess kind of speaking on that, right? Like, if you could kind of talk to yourself 2 years ago, what would you tell her to kind of
Yeah.
keep
I
going?
love that.
Yeah.
I would tell her that her dreams are possible. And I mean, at the point I am in my business right now, I haven't landed that first licensing client.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so confident now that I know I'm going to, like, within the next few months or within
Absolutely.
this
Yeah.
next year. Like, I know everything I've done has led me to this point to where I'm actually going to be able to achieve my dreams. But I would honestly just tell her that your dreams are achievable, because right before I'd started Abi Ink, I like got really upset because I was applying to Carter's. They were like one of the baby clothing company, if you don't know
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
I wasn't interested in baby clothing, but they had one of the few jobs in Atlanta. They had like a print/pattern designer, and I
Mm-hmm.
really wanted that job. And I applied, didn't get it, and I heard from people that they hire a lot internally. So I went and got a part-time job in the mall at Perimeter,
Yeah.
working in their store so I could then apply internally when the job came around.
Wow.
The
Yeah.
job came around, I applied, didn't get it.
Okay.
They said that they had hired someone internally from headquarters,
Okay.
and I was like heartbroken. I called my mom. I literally thought, I was like, everything they tell you as a kid, like you can achieve your dreams as long as you try hard. I was like, this is BS. Like I did all the things. I
Yeah.
did all
Yeah.
the things and more, and I couldn't get there. And like now I look back at it and I was like, it's because I wasn't supposed to be working for some big corporate job. I'm supposed to be building my own thing, but
For
I
sure.
had to get that no and that heartbreak and thinking my dreams weren't possible to actually like see what my dream was and
Absolutely.
feel like I could achieve it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So now I'm sure you've heard kind of hard to miss the whole AI thing, right?
Yeah.
So how do you feel about AI regarding illustrations? And how does that either impact or implement in your business?
Yeah, okay. So I'll be very straightforward about this. I use AI in my business.
Okay.
Nothing design wise. It does not come into my like creative process, but it like is my business partner on the business side.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's amazing. It
Yeah.
truly is. Like my business wouldn't be as far as it is right now if it wasn't
Yeah.
for
That's
AI.
co-founder.
My art, exactly. It's like, but you don't get the credit. Okay.
Yeah.
My art, it comes from like my heart and soul, like I
For
said,
sure.
and like if I let AI into that, it wouldn't be a true representation of me
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
And I think what brands really want is something that connects with their audience, and that comes from like real life connection.
Mhm.
And I know that there are brands out there that will use AI like patterns or illustrations, but like I've heard other artists say is that those companies were never your target market because
Absolutely.
they're looking to spend $20 on something that was computer generated, and the companies that I'm working with would be willing to spend more because they want something that will truly connect with their audience.
For sure. And I just feel like with AI is AI definitely has like great things that it can do um when done correctly, but I just feel like when it comes to kind of creative things, AI, like you think about AI just kind of puts out the information it's given, so it can't really create something new, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
So
I totally understand
yeah, so I definitely congratulate you on the not easy.
that. But the business side, I mean, like
Yeah,
I said,
business
it's
side, yeah.
amazing. It's helped me like write a lot of things. And I know writing is creative, but like the business side of it, not
Yeah,
like
yeah.
not the creative writing, but yeah, it's been incredible.
Awesome. Awesome. So what's next for you? Of course the clients, but kind of like immediate, and then 5 years from now, like what do you see? Do you see
Oh
for yourself?
wow, that's a great question. I've only looked like 1 year forward right now. So for 2026, I'm really hoping to grow. So at one point, I was growing my social media 100 followers every week. I
Okay,
had
cool.
all organically, like I was working really hard on it. I stopped doing that because I realized there were a lot of other things that were very important that needed my attention. And social media, while it is super important for
Mm-hmm.
people in my field to have it, for companies to kind of respect you, it wasn't like the most important thing I needed to be doing,
For sure.
but I don't want to just let it go anymore. Like I want to continue building it, even if it's steadier
Yeah.
and slower. So I'm going to be focusing on growing my social media. I'm going to be releasing a quarterly newsletter to kind of keep
Okay.
clients or potential clients up to date with like new collections and things that are coming out. And I'm going to be working on securing my first licensing deal
Yep.
and many more.
For sure.
And I also am going to be working on securing some wholesaling sales because within the past few months, I started pitching myself to stores around Atlanta
Okay.
with products of my own, like tea towels, tote bags, things like that. And I'm in talks with a store in Buckhead right now about getting some like Valentine's and Masters themed products in their stores that I designed.
Okay. Cool. Um. Now, kind of like over these past 2 years, right? Like, what would you say has been like the proudest moment as far as your journey so far?
Proudest, wow, that's a good question. Like proudest moment, partly would be like just starting it, like doing it. It was December 5th last year, the day that my boss at the restaurant had told me, like, he was like, "What about Abi Ink?" And I was like, "That's it."
Yeah. Yeah.
So just like I'm so proud of myself for starting and having that courage, even though I was terrified, and then continuing on every time I've been terrified. Like I had a few months back when I got hit with that fear again. And I was like, oh my God, like, can I even do this? And then honestly, having people who support me and believe in me, like my mom and my husband, when I'm filled with doubt, they still believe in
Yeah.
me. So that's really cool. And then I'm really proud of myself right now because I'm the farthest along I've ever been in my
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. And so like how do you balance kind of like the creative side and the business side, right? Cuz those are kind of like nearly opposites.
I know.
So how do you balance that kind of being the only like founder?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah.
And I'm very fortunate because a lot of creatives are very creative but not very business minded. But I
For
actually
sure.
love the business side of it.
Really?
Yeah, so that is a great question. Nowadays, I'm trying to do more drawing on the weekend
Okay.
because I work on my business on the weekends. I mean, I'm not one of those founders who like burn myself out. I'm not going to let that happen
Yeah.
because then this won't be my dream business
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
But I try to do like creative, fun things that like bring me joy on the weekend. Like yesterday, I spent like the whole day drawing,
Okay.
and that's a very important part of my business because if
Yeah.
I don't create art, I don't have anything to sell.
For sure.
But also, like I've been told by some of my mentors here at Hatchbridge, they're like, Abby, what are the like revenue generating things, tasks that you have to do? And I already have a bunch of art. So it's not that I need to
Yeah.
create more art yet. It's that I
Yeah.
need to pitch and get people to start having a conversation with me.
For sure. For sure. And I guess my last question for you, right, is I guess other people that are creating companies, right, and it's a creative kind of company, what advice would you have for them as far as being able to, one, even start it, have the courage to start it, two, kind of like being able to balance that business and creative side, and then three, I guess, not burning out.
Yeah. Okay. What was one? Let's start with one.
Okay, one was what was the advice you have for them? Just kind of like just starting, have initiative to just start.
Okay. Well, one, I would say AI is your friend.
Okay.
Like if you don't know your business plan, I literally just helped a friend the other day like map out, like she's
Yeah.
had this idea for a business for a while and I helped her sit down and kind of map it out. So I think that's helpful. Like sitting down, you know what you want to do, but like what are the steps that you need to do? Like I knew I needed a website. I
Mhm.
knew I needed to somehow create a list of clients. So like figuring out like what are your main focuses that you need to be focusing your time on.
Mhm.
Whether that's like pitching or just creating your art. Like the first year I was like, oh wow, my art kind of needs a little bit of work.
Yeah.
I'm looking at like what the companies have versus what I was pitching on. So that first year I took a lot of time to really just like work on my art. And that's okay. Like
Yeah.
you don't have to be like in the making money side of it yet. You can be in that like building, growing stage while still doing a lot.
For sure. And then two was balancing the business and creative side.
Okay. Well, balancing having a business in general, like I feel like most people don't have the option to just be working on it full time. So something that's been very helpful for me is having a bunch of part-time jobs that give me that flexibility. I think that's been really important for me.
Mhm.
Now obviously health insurance is a factor. Like I
Yeah.
get that through my husband, luckily. Like
Okay.
that's really fortunate. But finding a way to make it balance with your life because you don't want to burn out. I know
Yeah.
that's question 3 or that's question
Yeah, it's
3, but
question
like
three, yeah.
it's a very real thing and it's very important to avoid. But balancing business and the art side, it just takes time. Like I know that's kind of like not a helpful answer, but I was mainly just doing art and then I
Yeah.
dove into the business side and then I dove into both a lot and then I started to burn out and I had to
Okay.
slow the brakes.
Yeah.
Like it just takes time kind of figuring out what works for you
Mhm.
and how much time you need to spend on each aspect of your business.
For sure. And I guess that's how you don't burn out, right? Like just I guess because sometimes people will kind of like take advice and it'll be good advice, but it just may not be good for them. So it's kind of like they end up burning out. And they're like, well,
Yeah, that's very real. There's some people who can just grind and grind and grind and
Yeah.
not burn out, or they are burning out and they just don't know it.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
But I mean, you just have to listen to your body and your mind, and like that's something I've become very in tune with myself, which I'm very like fortunate
Yeah,
for. I think a lot of people aren't, so I think listening to your body and your mind when like, oh, your neck's killing you, and you've been sitting at your desk for a few hours, like go on a walk,
yeah,
like go do something that will be good for you
yeah,
because I've been in those stages where I'm just grinding, but it's also grinding away at my body and my brain, and then I won't be able to show up as well.
yeah,
So
yeah,
really, I think taking care of like your body, like doing something active, doing something for your brain that doesn't involve your business. Because like sometimes I'm like, oh, I love drawing, like that's a great thing to do all weekend, but no, it's still part of my business.
yeah,
Like
that's true.
go read a book,
Yeah,
go play a soccer game, go do something, go see friends, people, family, like they fuel me too. Like I
yeah,
have to keep those other parts of my life going to keep my business going too.
absolutely, absolutely. So where can people kind of reach out to you, learn more information?
Yeah. So I spell Abi, ABI, just so you know, because when I say it.
Okay.
My social media for like Instagram is Abi Ink Studio. So
Okay.
ABIINK, like ink in a pen.
Okay.
And then my website is abi-ink,
Okay.
ink.com.
Yeah. I've been looking at it this whole time, but it just kind of hit me like Abi Ink. Like,
Yeah, like because I always drew with a pen and paper. Like that's the only mode I
okay.
ever
Okay.
did. Now I've started to do, and then I transfer it into Adobe Illustrator. But
Okay.
now I'm starting to use Procreate and things for like ink. That's my bread and butter.
Gotcha. Gotcha. All right, Abby, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you,
on.
Howard.
Yeah. And thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye.